Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Welcome to the Killer Budget series. In this series I hope to help any killer main trying to get up the ranks, trying to really learn the game, or just, starting the game and doesn't want to spend any money, on how to have fun, how to have good perk builds, and all of that in the like. So in the first episode today, which is the Wraith, the Bing Bong Boy, I'll go with his default outfit just for this menu. I don't have any equipped. Let's just go and change that. Doesn't really matter which one I choose, because you get all of these for free. But here we go. So this is the Wraith. This is how he'll, I think, look like when you first see him. And this is what he looks like. So, what is his power? His power is the Wailing Bell, which means at the start of the trial you'll be cloaked. Cloaked, what does that mean? It means that you cannot hit your survivor, you do not have a terror radius, and you move faster. Not having a terror radius means you can kind of sneak up on survivors much easier. However, you do make some noise, and they can kind of see you, kind of not. The other thing is that you can uncloak, and when you uncloak it takes a little bit of time, but then you get a speed boost, which allows you to try to catch up to the survivor and hit them. The entire point of the power is kind of that you can jump out of nowhere, hit them, and either keep chasing them, ring the bell to catch up to them faster, or you can just simply go and find someone else and go hit them. So we have a few builds here today. Only one of them I'm going to be using. I'm going to try to make a bunch of builds for every single progression point at the game. In the game rather. So in my previous adaptation of this video, I only had one build per moment, but then I was like, you know what, I should really expand this and make this a really big guide. So in this part, I'll show the build that I was using and what the prerequisites are. So with the add-ons, a lot of the add-ons are just typically good, so you can just run whatever add-ons you want. The best add-ons being the Coxcombed Clapper, and then the, the Ghost Soot. The Ghost Soot means that when you come out of stealth, your terror radius and everything and your red stain get suppressed, so you don't have them for 6 seconds. And basically when you ring your bell you make a noise, and with this add-on you make no noise. So it's really good, especially on indoor maps. You can just come out of nowhere, they don't even know you're there, and then you hit them and then it feels unfair. There's also the Bone Clapper, which means that you can no longer tell how far away and in what direction Wraith is. So that is a generally really good add-on, even if you just want to use that as just a every game add-on. But the ones that I was using in this video are the Windstorm Blood. All of the Windstorm add-ons mean that you have more movement speed, in this case 9 when you are cloaked. And Swift Hunt, all of these makes your uncloaking speed better. In this one it is 10%. So getting into the build, I'm running Nurse's Calling. This is the only prerequisite perk in the entire build, meaning that you will have to get Nurse to Prestige 1 in order to unlock all of her perks at level 1. However, this perk is still good even at level 1, so you can simply go and get Wraith up, maybe using the second and third build I have. And then when you go and level up Nurse to get her perks, you can just put this in the moment you get it. The other perks that we have are Sloppy Butcher, which means that when you hit someone with a basic attack, this killer only has basic attacks, they suffer from Hemorrhage and Mangled. Hemorrhage makes it so then whenever a survivor stops healing, and they have not finished their heal, they'll basically lose their progress on that heal until they start healing again, and most of the time it's too late. Mangled makes it that they have to spend 25% longer to heal. Healing is a 16-second interaction, so with this it means it's a 20-second interaction. Meaning that with Nurse's Calling, you have 20 seconds to find someone who is healing and then ambush them, which is really good and it really helps with his hit and run playstyle. Jolt is a perk that recently got a buff, but it's still really good anyway. Like, obviously you got a buff, but it was good either way, especially for a character like Wraith who doesn't really down that many people. Like quickly at least. So whenever you put a survivor in the dying state with a basic attack, you only have basic attacks, all generators around you explode and lose 8% of their progress, which is basically like 9 seconds, which is pretty decent. And then the final perk is Hex No One Escapes Death. The reason why this perk has always annoyed people is because it allows the killer to have a second chance. When they've been beaten, when the game is about to end, you get a speed boost and your basic attacks now one hit down, meaning you can really get some pressure going. However, the survivors can now see the totem's aura, which makes it easier to cleanse, meaning it's a bit more fair. So this is the build that I ran in the first game, but let's go into some alternatives. So the first alternative is one if you don't want to level up Nurse first. Well, I have a build for you. It is Jolt Fearmonger, which means that any survivor who's on a gen is exhausted. This means that if they have Dead Hard or Sprint Burst or any exhaustion perk, they cannot recharge their exhaustion perks by touching a gen, and especially if they have Sprint Burst or Dead Hard, if they are on a gen and you chase them off that gen and they have to run, they cannot use their exhaustion perks, meaning that it might be an easy down for you to down them. The other perks, however, we've already talked about. And in the final one if you don't want to use Noed, well, there's a good alternative. Instead of Noed, you can always run Shattered Hope. Even though this is at level 1, I will still be telling you what the level 3 version is. So, whenever you snuff a boon totem, which the best one is a healing totem, which really counters Wraith, you can then destroy the totem, meaning that there's only 4 totems left instead of 5, and making it harder. Maybe the totem that they booned was in a really annoying spot for you to get to. Well, you don't even need to worry about that anymore because that totem is gone. Furthermore, so there are boons have a 24-meter radius. Anyone in that radius, when you break the totem, that aura will be revealed to you for 6, 8, 10 seconds, meaning that it will be even easier for you to find people and then down them. So, with that, let's get into the first game, shall we? So, here we are in our first lobby. I furthermore don't usually show this off. I've spawned into TTV Surreal Shame, TTV Cardi Peas, TTV Chop Chop, and TTV Hobdobbler. So, 4-man, probable, Swift, all TTVs, and I'm not good with Wraith, and I'm doing a free-to-play build. Wow, this is going to be fun. But yep, so let's talk about the general game plan while the game actually loads and none of them ready up. So, the way that Wraith tries to play is typically in a hit-and-run strategy. So what we'll be trying to do in this game, and furthermore what I'll be trying to showcase in general, is just that you find someone, you hit them, and you don't worry. Like, if you find someone else, go chase them. That is generally how the game works. Also, they've brought the Last Mask and a Petrified Oak. Great. It's always TTV players who bring annoying map offerings, because, you know, they want to have fun content, and fun content for streamers is when they actually get to play the game. So, fair enough. Especially when we get to the later stages of this video, you'll very much see that the way that Wraith plays is in a way where don't worry about getting downs too much. Like, you can have time to do other things, and that can mean that you can get immediately screwed, but it also means that sometimes you can get really fun and creative games. So, as I said before, you start cloaked, and we move, I believe it was 9% faster. So, we are moving basically with Noed already, so we can very easily navigate this map, only when we are cloaked. And there is someone right here who doesn't seem to be playing, however we will just remedy that and get an achievement for being an arsehole, basically. We won't try to tunnel or camp. I believe that since the patch has happened, it's typically not worthwhile doing such a strategy. I saw someone just then. So we get to uncloak, get a really big speed boost, and then get a hit. So now that person is mangled, and then we can try to find them. And boom, we were able to get a grab off. So we've been able to do a lot pretty early on, but that's typically just because these people are kind of thrown. But sometimes it's not always good to ring your bell immediately. However, because of the fact that we know that people are kind of going to be running, it's probably just good to. We don't really care about tunneling, as I said. Damn. I kind of thought he would be dumb. But he was not. Yeah, you know what? Makes sense. Can't spell bully squad without head on. Don't know why they're not, okay. Don't know why they didn't try to light burn. With Wraith, you can actually, do something called a light burn, which is when you flashlight him when he is, ringing his bell to uncloak. Okay, great. This is fun, guys. This is fun. But yeah, so obviously, we don't need to worry about looping people. We can just go other places. So let's go try to find the gens where they are working at, instead of just getting head-on stunned, because apparently that's what survivors like to do these days, I guess. This is a really big map, but it seems like they're not really trying to work on gens too much, instead just trying to have their own fun, which is very good for us, because it does mean that, because of the fact that they're not really doing gens, it means that we've had 2 hooks without any interruption, mainly because they were very delayed on trying to vault. They could have vaulted way earlier, and they wouldn't have gotten hooked by that. So basically what we need to do now is we need to keep in mind that they will probably be just trying to be annoying in the main building, and instead circle around the rest of the map so then we don't get into such a predicament. Because if we don't really care about one gen being lost, and because we move really fast, we can just go around the map and make sure that nothing happens. And we kind of want to promote them to do that middle gen, because then there'll be no incentive to really go there anymore, other than, oh, there's a bunch of lockers there. Which, because 2 of them have head-on, if we can force them to keep having to make trips into annoying areas that they don't want to necessarily go into, it will mean that we have a much easier game as well. So, obviously DBD is a game about knowing the counterplay and outs to everything around you. So that is what we're trying to do here. It might just be that this 4-man TTV don't even want to play the game at all, and instead just want to merely head-on stun me infinite amount of times. So let's just go into the damned building and see what they're trying to do. You're an idiot. Yep, so they're just trying to head-on stun. How? How, game? I want to know, I want a 5-page thesis on why that worked like that. Oh my god, can you just do gens? Like, seriously, I just want to have a game. Like, seriously, I just want to have a game. Stop doing head-on. I'm sick of head-on. Oh, for fuck's sake. Even trying to surprise them doesn't work because of the map design. Whew. I tell you, you try to have fun against people and they're just like, no! What do you mean, fun? Well, there's only one strategy to do if literally they haven't done gens, and unfortunately, we're just gonna have to camp. If they don't want us to be able to, like, we're trying to loop and show off this cool build, which is a hit and run strategy, And they're just like, no, I want to head on and only head on and not even do gens. Force hits on everyone. Try to eat this DS. There wasn't a DS, wow. Very surprising. But yeah, so welcome to TTV hell, I guess, where all they do is be unfun. Yep. We're just here to get hooks at this point. We know we have already won. Even if that Yui gets up, we've gotten so many hooks and they've literally done nothing just because they just want to pursue a fruitless effort to annoy me. Like, cool. You lost. Not there, okay. I don't know how I felt like there was two people in that lockup, but say la vie. So this is the strength of Wraith when you battle against people who are bad. And apparently I'm bad. Cool. Well, this game is over. Man, it's really annoying that this is how this game had to go. I was really hoping for like a fun game against a bunch of TTVs, but no, they just wanted to be toxic, I guess. We could fake. Oh, no, they already. Okay, cool. Okay, so let me teach you a lesson. If someone is here in this exact situation and they're just in front of the pallet, you have to just not do it. Wait until they crawl to you. This person knows that they've lost, and they know that if they stay there, I'm just gonna go close hatch first. So they just give up. But don't pick people up unless like if you're in an end game scenario like I was there. Don't pick people up. It would just lead to a power struggle hit, because power struggle is like the new version of Dead Hard at this point. But yeah, there's our first game of Wraith. Let's get to the next build. So, how was that first game? It was a bit memey because of the fact that the TTV players were all running head-on and just trying to go for memes. Surprisingly enough, they weren't even online. I thought that that would be perfect content for people online, but maybe they just didn't want the backlash, not that we would give any. So for this build, I want to start with the prerequisites of this build is Doctor at Prestige 1 and Nurse at Prestige 1. And you might be saying, Doctor? Well, isn't this a budget guide? Yes, if you've bought the Deluxe Edition, Special Edition, you know, any of that, you will be getting Doctor and Hag for free. So, the second build is kind of like, hey, with the Deluxe Edition, with the Special Edition, what can you kind of get? So with this, I'm making it so then you have the new perk for, well, the new changed perk for Doctor, Overcharge. The way that this works is when you kick a gen, the regression speed increases from less than normal natural speed to double natural normal speed over 30 seconds, and if a survivor touches the gen at all, even when it's fully regressed, they will be met with a very hard skill check that if they fail, they lose 15 seconds on that gen pretty much, instead of the usual 9 seconds. So that's really, really strong. So with that, we're running coxcombed clapper, meaning that the bell is silent, and as well all sing blood, which means that we're able to see the auras of survivors 8 meters around us, which is just generally good because we move fast as well. So this is the build that we go into in the game. However, let's look at some alternatives. Maybe you don't want to level Nurse. If that's the case, the only prerequisite for this build is the Doctor Prestige 1 to get Overcharge. We're using Jolt, Overcharge, so then we have a lot more aggression, Sloppy Butcher, so then we're making the survivors spend more time healing, and then Noed, so then when we do get to the end game, hopefully with all the speed decreases, we maybe have 1 or 2 people dead, so then we can just hit one person, find the other, hit them, hook both of them, and get a 4K. The final build is if you don't want a high roll with Noed, how about you high roll with something else? The prerequisites for this build is the Hag Prestige 1, that is the only prerequisite. What we're running is Ruin. So, there's a double-edged sword to this build, and so Ruin is a perk that people almost always, as soon as they see that it's a thing, go and find and break. However, as soon as they do break Ruin, they don't care about totems anymore, because they're like, oh, well they don't even have Undying. So obviously, they're not running a second perk. Hex Ruin makes it so then when you get off a generator, survivors will often like go on a generator for 2 seconds, get off, see if Ruin's active. If it is, they go find totems. Because whenever a survivor gets off a gen and that gen is not being worked on, it will regress. And also, furthermore, if you kill a survivor by any means, Hex Ruin turns into a Dull Totem. The second thing is Hex Devour Hope. This is a really strong perk. Basically, the way that you use this perk is you hook someone and then you get away from the hook, because if you're 24 meters away from the hook, you get a token. At 2 tokens, you get Haste, meaning that you can get away from the hook even faster. At 3 tokens, your M1 is now exposed, so you basically have Noed when the game is still going on, which works with Jolt, meaning that you can actually down a bunch of people and get a bunch of aggression. And also, at 5 tokens, you are able to kill survivors, you're able to mori survivors, and it is the most awesome feeling to be able to do. The general way I would use this perk is obviously down 2 survivors naturally through game progression, and then when you get to the 3rd token, try to take out 2 survivors at once, hook one, hook the other, book it to the other end of the map, both people get off, down someone, put them away from your totem. Now they know that you have Devour Hope, because you got 3 token, 4 token. You hook them, you go to your totem, you cloak, you just stand in front of your totem and wait for them to unhook. And then as soon as they unhook, you go find someone, hopefully someone tries to find your totem, you ambush them, you down them, and then you're able to kill them. So you get 1 kill immediately, and you've already gotten 5 hooks. Meaning that you may have already, 5 hooks, hopefully not killing anyone yet, because if that is the case, if you did tunnel, or if they did get to 2nd phase or something like that, you do need to get more hooks, but at that point you're also getting probably more kills, so it kind of evens out. Devour Hope is a really fun and interesting perk, and it's really great on bigger maps where survivors have to really scrounge around looking for the totems. However, let's use our build and get into the second game. So, we are in our second game. I hope you love this outfit as well. This is the Tome 4 outfit with the Halloween, this weapon, last year's Halloween's weapon. Tome 4 is when I joined, so, yeah. Also, this is just one of my favorite outfits in general for Wraith. It just looks really nice. So, they won't be able to see, so as we can see them. But as you can see there, they weren't able to see us at all. Nice shot. No, they did. Huh. It looked like I didn't know where they went for a second there. We're just gonna break this. Oh, they just went over here, okay. Literally from that last game, I've been like... Good plan. Good plan. I would like to get the pressure, but she's going too far. Let's just go somewhere else. Yet again, because of that sloppy butcher, but oh my god, what's with the lag? Oh my god, what's with the lag? It's me. Oh no! Yeah, we can kind of just move around here. He was really adamant on staying on that gen. Holy oh my. There we go. And we've downed him. Yep. I don't know if I need to be careful or not. I don't know if there's a person with a flashlight in this lobby, but I don't think there is. Obviously because we won terrifically our last game, our MMR will have been increased. Damn it, I really wanted to kick that gen. No, okay. Damn, we're in a really, really bad spot here. We kind of want to take the hit on Mikasa right now, but it looks like Kenny is just going to give himself to us. He probably has, off the record. Trying to mind game, won't work. But she won't drop the pallet, really. Well, you just fucked yourself from a hit there. Yeah, she really should have dropped that pallet. Like, obviously, I think she's just thinking that I don't, like, I respect pallets way too much. Ooh, that was a really good bait there. It's what I mean. Like, you lose one, you win one game, and then they're like, oh, pro gamer, and doing the strat to get, what is it called, dead hard working, and the gen going flying. I guess we'll try to. They're a killer shack. I really... Yeah, there's no point. Yeah, this is basically why, like, you know, Wraith isn't very good. He, sadly, because of the fact that he can get around the map, and it's the same thing with Sadako. Sadako, oh, she can get around the map, but as soon as she's done getting around the map, she gets absolutely destroyed. Because she doesn't have any chase power, and it's the exact same with Wraith. He doesn't have anything to facilitate an actual loop. So with him, you either have to run a bunch of looping perks, or really commit to the hit and run style, which can really backfire if there's a boon in play. There we go. We mind gamed him. We have one gen left. This is not looking good at all. You can see the disparity of what happens when people do gens versus when people don't do gens, really. And it's very sad because this is the game that we're using our strongest add-on on. So we were able to see that there's someone here, whooshing and then hitting them. Yet again, they could have used their flashlight to blind us, or light burn us. Okay. This is a very bad move. Yep, we could clutch that one out. So it really just comes down to being able to loop well, being able to position well, and being able to mind game well, just like with any other M1 killer when it comes to playing Wraith. And obviously you'll see that that was an item for a second and I was like, huh? But yeah, you'll really see that a lot. Yeah, see what I mean? Like, gens go flying in this heated battle. We have to commit to the end game. So one thing you can do at the end game is just open the exit gates. Just boom, end game's happened, fuck off, you're not getting anything. We'll put her... Fuck me, I guess. Where's the other lady? Why is this hill designed like this? I don't think it was that. It was the Meg, wasn't it? She gets out, most likely. Yep. Okay, thank you, game. You denied my kill, but my power remains. The power of NOED, people. This one really sucked. Yeah, we just, they had really good gen pressure against us. Yet again, I feel like the way you should play the game is with no way out deadlock. Just really force it so then people can't do gens, and when they do gens you still have a really good endgame. But, you know, in a free-to-play kind of series, NOED would suffice. So, on to the next game. So, that game was kind of a shit show. I didn't really do very well at killing the survivors, however, we did have a good game overall. I did show that, you know, you can edge out some chases and you can do some good things, and those were way better survivors who were actually doing gens. So, in this next part of the video, which is the third game, we add one DLC, so one $10 or $7.50 purchase, depending on your persuasion, on a DLC to get perks to help us. We'll also be using the special edition, so then we don't, you know, we can use characters like Hag and Doctor's perks, just so then there's a little bit more creativity because we have a bigger perk pool. So, for this build that I do here, I am running NOED and Overcharge like usual. However, I would recommend changing Overcharge for a different perk, and I'll get to that soon. But the DLC chapter we'll be choosing is All Kill. So the prerequisites for this are Doctor P1 and Trickster P1. However, I would change Overcharge for Brutal Strength or for Agitation, which are both Trapper perks, so I would actually say Trapper P1 instead of Doctor. Mainly because of this first perk, Starstruck. So if you have Agitation, your terror radius will be increased by 12 meters, meaning you have a 48 meter terror radius, which is huge, and if anyone is in that while you're traveling to a hook, they will be exposed for 30 seconds after you have hooked the survivor, and then the perk has a 60-second cooldown when you hook the survivor, so you get 30 seconds of exposed, 30 seconds of cooldown, so it's a really good perk. No Way Out. The way this perk works is when the survivor interacts with an exit gate, you'll receive a loud noise notification knowing which switch they tried to pull, and the entity blocks both exit gates for 12 seconds, and for every single time you had hooked a normal a survivor for kind of like the first time. So if you hooked everyone once, you get 4 tokens, which means you have 60 seconds where they can't do anything. We're also running NOED. So you keep, you know, you get the crabs in the bucket and then you shoot the bucket. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but there you go, there's my, whatever it's called, format of wisdom. However, for this build, I would actually be running either Agitation to increase Starstruck to make that even stronger, or Brutal Strength to facilitate the other part of the build, which is the Shadow Dance and Serpent. I would say that just run Agitation because that is the better one, because you try to make things better for your perks, not your add-ons. But this build of add-ons means that when you are cloaked, you break things 60% faster, and you also vault 60% faster. And then whenever you break a pallet or wall or generator, you become uncloaked, meaning that you can kind of fuck over survivors who didn't think that you could do that, especially with Starstruck, meaning for 1 down, you could potentially get 2 very easily. The second build is if you choose the Resident Evil chapter, which is more expensive. It is around like a $15 chapter instead of the usual $10 or the $7.50 chapters, at least for my currency, that is. However, the perks that you get are, we're obviously running NOED, but Lethal Pursuer. So at the start of the trial, you get to see all the survivors' auras for 9 seconds plus 2 seconds because of its secondary effect, which is that whenever a survivor's aura is shown to you, you get to see its, you get to increase its duration for 2 seconds, meaning whenever you get to see a survivor, you know, barbecue and chili, if you don't see the survivor, if they go into a locker, then you don't get to see them at all, you don't get that extra 2 seconds. But if you were able to see a survivor by the use of Lethal Pursuer, you get to see them for an extra 2 seconds, including Lethal Pursuer itself. So the prerequisites for this build are Nemesis Prestige 1 and Doctor Prestige 1. That is because Eruption and Overcharge. So we've already talked about Overcharge, but let's talk about Eruption. So whenever a survivor enters the dying state, every survivor that every gen that is afflicted by this perk gets 10% loss of its progress. I have a speech impediment, please don't bully me. and any survivor who was repairing a generator, when this perk goes off, will scream and basically be able to do jack shit other than loop at a slower speed for 25 seconds. This perk has a cooldown of 30 seconds. How do you highlight these gens? You just kick them. So when you damage a generator, which includes jolt, so if you do jolt a gen, you can really fuck over a bunch of survivors. So there's actually 2 different ways to do this build because of that, which is either you run jolt and just get nemesis and you jolt an eruption. So you kick a few gens, but then you can also just punch or down a survivor with your M1, and then afflict eruption onto a bunch of gens anyway. So that is the second build, and the third build is this. If you chose the Shattered Bloodline DLC, you get access to the Spirit. One of Spirit's most well-known perks is Spear Fury because of the Spear Fury Enduring combo. And this combo is a little bit more special if you play it on Wraith, because of the fact of the aforementioned add-ons. So, for this one, you break things 80% faster when cloaked, and 20% faster naturally. If you put that in with the 10% faster speeds in general that we've been gotten, basically 30% faster than original speed when you are just kicking normally, and 90% faster when cloaked. You basically kick things in a second. It is crazy. And whenever you kick something, you become uncloaked. If you get stunned by a pallet when you're cloaked, you become uncloaked and you eat a stun by a pallet. That stun will be 50% off, and also if you break a pallet, you become unstealthed, meaning you can get another hit in. The other thing is when you're stealth, your aura cannot be red, meaning that Rancor can then activate. And the way that this perk works is whenever a gen is completed, the Obsession sees your aura for 3 seconds, and every single time a generator is completed, you see all of the survivors' locations, however not their auras. So it is a little bit more hard to find them after you've gotten that information. But once all exit gates are completed, the Obsession has the exposed status effect and you can just kill them. This is one of the funnest perks to run because of the fact that you can just shit on one person. That Obsession that's been annoying you all game, shit on. This is more of a meme build, however, but Spirit Fury Enduring is an actual combo, and I did really want to highlight that. Spirit Fury itself is after you break 2 pallets, which we do much faster. The next time you are stunned by a pallet, Enduring, the entity will break that pallet, but you still suffer the stun penalty effect, which is fine because of the fact that, Enduring. So basically it guarantees a hit. So you hit someone, they go to a loop with a pallet, they try to stun you, you break the pallet, and then you go in for the second hit for free, basically, and then boom. And then you can go around the map and break things really fast, and then get back out, and then maybe get another hit. And then also, when you're going around the map, when no one can read your aura, if gens go off, then the survivor, who's your Obsession, doesn't even get to know you have Rancor, which is really strong. But let's use our build, and let's get into the third game. Okay, we were sent to Eyrie of Crows because you think the killer's allowed to have fun? Molding aside, let's get into the game plan. So, we don't have any way of consistently tracking the survivors yet. That is for the final one. So, typically, just kind of look around the main area. You have the speed to do so, especially on bigger maps. Like, when you're playing as Wraith, one of the luxuries is that your start of game isn't too bad. It's still bad, however. And if you tell that I get silent near gens, it's because I'm trying to listen out. And we found them. Don't be like Meg. Just get off immediately. You don't want to get the hit immediately. Oh, I thought that was them for a second. So what we can do here is simply walk back. That person there is exposed and will be exposed for the duration. They're probably over here. Where did they go? Ah, there they are. So, Starstruck. This is what it does. Furthermore, let's just do this for the sake of it. Damage gen. Look how quick that is. Sadly, the other person has left. So, we have one person down on the ground. I'll be nice. I'm not gonna... I don't want to be mean. Let's just be nice. If you are not a arsehole, like if you are a arsehole, rather, you could, in this game state, literally just win. However, I don't really feel like being a major arsehole. Even though, technically, I just threw the game, I would rather throw a game and be able to have a fun game, than just be an arsehole and just win. Especially for making content for you guys. But as you can tell, that gen has gone down a lot already. No one there. So if anyone... Aha! So we found people. If anyone was in that area where we unhooked, got the other person, they would be screwed. Because they would have gotten exposed. Yep. And look at that. Look at that. This is why you always try to experiment with your characters, because you never know. Like, people don't know this shit. Like, people will not know what your killer does if you run fucking random shit. Like, you could run brutal strength if you wanted to as well. And, like, yet again, boom, I'm able to hit. Someone going for the unhook? No. That's how strong, Starstruck, one, Starstruck is strong. Two, that's how strong, these add-ons are. And no one ever really talks about them. I actually really like this one. Because it really just means that you can, kick something and then get into the game. If anyone even touches that gen, there's a chance that they might just miss the skill check as well. Really cool tip for Starstruck, if it goes, as soon as it goes halfway, that's when the exposed ends. So you will know when the exposed ends and the timer begins. So we kick this, boom, we're out. We look around, see if there's anyone in the general area. There is not, so they probably left their gen. Meaning we can just go run back. This is why I believe Wraith to be so good, is just his ability to do this. Oh. Yeah, well, I guess in this scenario, there's not much you can do. I love you, Michaela. I love you, bad player. Man, did we really just get lumped with like a bunch of like first game people? Because we like absolutely got freaking decked in the schnoz by the other group. If so, that's really funny. Yet again, I will not tunnel, I will not camp rather. So I will adhere to the survival rulebook just because I want this game to go a bit longer so we can show off more fun stuff. And I don't want this game to just turn into, like, they have a DC, it's not really fair. Even if they brought you with crows, it's still a DC. So it would still be very unfair to just basically kill them. So I'll let them heal up and then I'll go and fight them. This is only because I actually do want to get, like, more cool things to happen. But yeah. So let's just wait for them to heal up a bit. Waiting. They just do all the gens while I wait, imagine. Okay, that's enough time. When you swallow weird. I hooked to them there. So, Wraith, obviously, with this build, you basically just run around, you find something, you break it in 2 seconds, and this probably is going to be the add-on setup I use. Oh wait, no, it won't. It pretty much will, but it won't at the same time. There'll be one key change. I don't know if I want to use one of, like, only use an add-on once or something in the series, and I probably won't. But I just don't want it to be, you know, like, oh, Bone Clapper with the common add-on every game, because that just wouldn't be fun. But, like, yeah, these add-ons, really fun. Scare them off the gen, kick the gen, get lagged on. Did they go into a locker like an idiot? No, I don't think so. Okay, cool. However, the gen is now locked, so we don't need to worry about that. But the cat is out of the bag now as well. We will go back into Cloak. Yet again, not lightborning me. Very new player move. Vault this insanely fast. Break this. Hope for them to want to flashlight me. They didn't. However, they still aren't in position at all, so we can hit them for free. Go back into our cloak. Chase them. Destroy this. Destroy their hope. Kill them. I will say, at all levels of play, you can run Shattered Hope on Wraith, and it is actually good. At all levels. If you wanted to, you could switch out Jolt or Overcharge from any of these builds and just run Shattered Hope instead, and then change the way you play to be more about trying to find boons instead of finding gens. And that would be really cool if you could also, when you snuff out a boon totem, you also went out of stealth with this common add-on. But I doubt that they would do that, because that just seems a bit too weird. So, yet again, we'll just go over. This place does have breakable walls, so we can actually use those to decloak as well. And obviously, if you use Brutal Strength, it would be even better. But, c'est la vie. I think I'll be able to use that tech now, actually. That's right. So we're going to wait a little bit because we have Starstruck, and we want to get value off of it. There we go. Starstruck is now active. We'll just take her to basement. Michaela is 100% exposed right now. And then we just leave. We go find Michaela. We down Michaela. We win game. She seemed pretty friendly with us because she knows that we're gonna lose. Did she go down? Yeah. Wow. Godly play there. Godly play there. She spammed me weirdly, so then I didn't get to be able to do anything about it. However, let's just run up and try to find Hatch, pretty much, is what we're going to try to do. We have the speed, so... Or we can just find her. Yeah, she knows that he's just dead. I think I'll let her go. I don't feel like being an asshole. So let's just go find Hatch. Don't know why she's being so annoying about it. Yeah, I think she doesn't realize that we're trying to give her Hatch. So I'm gonna quickly try to find Hatch first. So then we can just go there with her instead of her just trying to struggle off the entire time. Where could it have been? Well, we should be in this form if we're trying to do this. But yeah, so basically that is the build. Pretty cool. Wraith does actually have a lot of interesting add-ons because his power is so bare bones, yet so interesting because it forces him not to be able to attack in a state. No, it's definitely not there. Where is it, I wonder? I feel like we went around the entire map. There it is. Oh, I need to uncloak. Oh, whoops. I pulled a tooties. Oh my god. Let me uncloak, please. There we go. Yeah, so that is the second game. I really felt like closing Hatch just to be an asshole, but I won't. But yeah, that's the second game. Let's go to the final one. So, we gave them a Mercy. Let's get into the fourth build segment of the video. So now we add one DLC to the DLC that we already have. So for our first one we chose Trickster, so prerequisite Trickster. The next one is Nemesis for this one, so prerequisite Nemesis. However, this was recorded when I was doing a video originally, where a bunch of people have been saying that Eruption is really good on Wraith because he can go around and tag all the gens. That is true, you can go around those maps and find the gens easily, especially with an add-on that we'll be talking about. But killing survivors, no. If you're battling against high-level survivors, no, that won't be happening. So what I would recommend instead of Nemesis for this one is simply Artist or Cenobite maybe, and just have Agitation, Starstruck, Pain Res, like Pain Res, and then have like Shattered Hope. That is the build I would recommend after this video, after going through and understanding the game a bit more for this Eruption idea. Because I, as a generally normal Wraith player, was having extreme trouble making this perk even work. So I would recommend just using Agitation, Starstruck, and Pain Res. That is a classically really good combo. And then also running Shattered Hope, just so that you can deal with Boon Totems when they arise. I think that is honestly the best way to play Wraith. So that is my build there. For more of a mid-gamey Wraith, that is my best build. So let's talk about the add-ons that I used in the video, however. So All-Seeing Spirit, the way that this one works is you get to, when you're cloaked, you see the repair progressive generators. They start out white and then they go red. So this allows you to go with Eruption, that was the idea of the thing. And we have Shadow Dance, meaning that when we are cloaked, when we kick a gen, we're then able to do it faster, so then we can get those eruptions off easier. But, you know, you'll see. The second build is if you chose Nemesis to start, and this one is a bit more interesting. This one is a Theory Craft. Put up the Theory Craft. Yeah! So the way that this one works is obviously you have the Lethal, you have the Eruption, and you have the Noed, but what's this? Artist, baby. So the prerequisites of this one are Nemesis and Artist. The perk that we're adding is Pain Renaissance. The reason why I didn't talk about it just before is because we're talking about it now. So, add the style. 4 random hooks are turned into Scourge hooks. For some reason they say up to 4, it's always 4. I've never seen it be like 1 hook. That would literally make Scourge hooks worthless. I think the reason why it says up to 4 Well, no, there isn't even any reason why it would have to be up to 4. Unless, like, they make a survivor perk that directly counters Scourge Hook. But then, why would you do that? The Scourge Hooks are way weaker than Boon Totems. But anyway, when you hook a survivor on a Scourge Hook, the generator with the most progress explodes, instantly losing 15% of progress and start to regress. I will also say that for the first build that I was talking about, you could also run a bit more of a meme build that I would actually recommend for Trapper, so I will get into that later with Trapper, but basically run the Agitation, Starstruck, Pain Res, and then Monstrous Shrine, so then you can Basement Trapper and get Pain Res off, which is really cool. And you, you could even try, instead of Agitation, to run Eruption instead, so then you could fuck them over a little bit more, but however, I think Agitation is better than Eruption in that regard. However, this is the build that I would run if I first chose Nemesis and then got a different DLC. However, if this does not work, you can actually just run the Hex plate, not Hex plate thing. You can run Hex Pentimento with Shattered Hope, because they actually work well with each other, and then you still use the 2 DLC that I've said. This is if you chose Spirit. So we've dropped the Rancor and I think the Noed. I'm not sure what the other perk was. No, it was Brutal Strength. We've dropped them for Bamboozle. We would still be running the Swift Shadow. We would still be running Shadow Dance, and in this one we would be running All Seeing Spirit. So then we can get Pop to have the most amount of advantage. That is the really cool thing about Wraith, is you can go to those places and get things done. Bamboozle, you vault 15% faster. With this, you go 75% faster if you vault while cloaked. Meaning you can do that, get slammed by pallet and then get a hit, and then they try to loop the Killer Shack more, and then they get hit again. But whenever you down someone, you can kick a gen, the gen with the most amount of progress, because you know which gen has the most amount of progress, and instantly regress it by 20%, which is really good. However, the build that we started with is this one, but all of these builds are viable. So, let's get into the game, shall we? Okay, thank you, world. So, we've got into Eerie of Crows again. This time there was no map offering, there was just double lock. So as you can see, every single generator is white. That means that it has not been worked on. The closer it gets to red, is the closer that, that gen is ready to be done. As you can see, it's starting to turn a bit red. This add-on's really cool. Let's see. If we had the other add-on right now. I do think, unironically, that other add-on is ridiculously good for a chase build. Thankfully, the Steve is very smart. So, we're now able to pick them up, put them on a hook, and then go back and kick a bunch of gens. However, one thing that should be said is that it may have been a much better idea to have gone and kicked this gen first. Look at that gen speed. You can also tell that the gen here is almost done. And we'll go back. So basically all we're trying to do with this build is to hit and prevent the gens that we hit from being worked on as much as we can, so then we can basically just stop people from doing these gens. In my brain I was just like, hit. But my soul said no. Just throw the pallet down. Thank you. It isn't worth it to cloak, by the way, because uncloaking is bad. Maybe if you had the add-on, it might. Let's just go somewhere else. We can damage this gen again, get 3 seconds of aggression on it. We can hope to get a hit here. Probably, yeah, no, we're getting a hit. It's merely a question of can we get the second hit. So that's one gen that Eruption will no longer affect. This is kind of the reason why, personally, I wouldn't want to run Eruption. It's really good on killers who aren't shit. And sadly, Wraith, in my opinion, is a shit killer. Especially in just downing potential, yeah. As you see, literally we're just trying to down someone to get Eruption off, and it does not work. Yeah. This is just what happens when you try to play Wraith, sadly. Against, like, even mildly competent survivors. It is unfortunate. I would say that with, instead of the speed, having the decloak add-on might be the better play for this build. But it is literally, like, I think you're gonna not, like, if you're going against good survivors like these, who know how to loop and know how to really prolong something, you're not gonna really get anything. Oh, we almost got him there. Let's do a little bit of mind game. Okay, so as you can see, we've got Eruption to get off. Now someone will bonk us on the head. Oh, at least they tried. So we see that this gen's being worked on. That is the type of gen you really want to fucking hit. Oh my... Fuck off. Gee, all I'm trying to do is break gen, and she's like, no. Just hit the Steve, why not? Down the Steve, why not? Hit the Michaela. Not the Michaela. Claudette, why not? Don't even bother going to that hook, because the Meg is probably doing something. This is what I mean, like, I don't feel like this build works really well. Due to the fact that you have to down survivors, and you also have to invest time into doing things before you do it. Yeah, the only gen that's being worked on is this one, and there's a person right there, I believe. No, that was just my imagination. But, like, this build is really good, but I feel like it would be way better with the Sadako perks. Maybe with the other add-on as well, just so then you break and immediately uncloak, so then you can get more sneakier things. And I also think as well, maybe something like Spirit Fury Enduring, or just Disillusion in general, I think would be a really good one. Oh, stealth. If you ever get a person like that, Nancy, don't even bother playing against them. They will not be fun. They will not be cool. They're only there to make your life hell. That is it. Killer Shack, we can't loop. Yep, it's really just going down to try to patrol gens. I feel like Call of Brine would work better here because it's just the guaranteed slowdown unless someone taps it, but if someone taps it, you kind of know that they go there. So it helps twofold. Wow, look at that, they had Quick and Quiet even. But yeah, like, trying to get the surprise feels like it's the better play. Get him. But yeah, like, Eruption is good, and because of the fact that we know which gens to go to, it's really good as well. I just don't think it works as well as you would want it to. Did she? It was instantly. is a really good position for us to be in. Man, if that hit... Obviously that's like a dumb thing to say. But if that hit, like if she actually went to the front of that to try to BM or something. Thank you. I will say that right now we're in a really strong position. So what we'll do is we'll just immediately open the gate. Oh wait, no, we have no way out. Okay, that changes things. But as you can see there, when you get stunned with a pallet, you immediately get out of cloaked. And we're just gonna get bullied for our entire life here. Pretty much, because what else would the survivors be trying to do? We could try to fake nicety, but I highly doubt that would work. Pretty much we just want to kill this Nancy now. We know that, there's the Meg. We'll be able to catch up in time. Nice try, Meg. So, at the end of the game, you know, no ed, no way out, carry. That is what I expected. We did get Eruption to go off. But hey, this is what happens when you pee a little shit. Both the Meg and the Nancy were being annoying. Yeah, cool. You can leave. You're just not able to get the unhook. What did I say? What did I fucking... You think you can beat me at the unhook game? You think you can beat me? Me? No. No one can beat me at that game. I am the champion of the hook game. Don't even fucking bother. I said you could leave. I did not care if you left. But you chose greed and see where it got you. But yeah. So that was this game. So now let's go into the end, and I will come up with a build, just like a really good build in general for Wraith, with all DLC. So that ends this video. Quick shout out to Quick Piggy from my friends 2Ds' Twitter, not Twitter, Twitch. Here's his there'll be a link down in the description for his Twitch. But you know, here's 2Ds. Thank you, Quick Piggy. You kind of revitalized my desire to actually redo the series. And then, furthermore, you, like, I was like, you know what, I need to make this video even better, have even more builds. So, yeah, because of that, there are now 12 builds in this episode for every, like, kind of level of player. So I hope you all have enjoyed this video. I hope you all, like, you know, smash the thumbnail, subscribe and all of that stuff, you know, general YouTube shit. I would like to say that only 5.5% of people who watch my content are actually subscribed. How about we get that to like 5%? But yeah, I hope you all enjoy watching the videos. I will be posting Let's Plays and DVD content, not every single day, like Let's Plays every single day, but then I will also be trying to do general other stuff, like maybe Phasmophobia and stuff like that, and just have general content be like maybe twice a day, or maybe, you know, 2 videos a day every 2 days, or something like that. So with that, I hope you all have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.